faithfully sharing value, exploring great books worldwide. Hi there, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today we're diving into the book, The Origin of Dogs for You. Dogs are humans' best buddies, often staying by our side as pets. So, where did that deep bond between dogs and us start? Is a dog's nature really shaped by its owner? Oh, would a dog ever trick its owner? Oh, how do you pick the right pet dog for you? The Origin of Dogs tackles all these questions. This book covers the origins of dogs, their basic types, shares stories of human dog bonds, and breaks down their habits and behaviors. If you got a dog or are thinking of getting one, you can't miss this book. It'll give you a full picture of dogs and be your key to their inner world. The author, Konrad Lorenz, was a renowned Austrian zoologist who loved studying animal behavior. He's the father of modern ethology and snagged the Nobel Prize in Medicine back in 1973. Germany's Der Spiegel magazine dubbed him the Einstein of the animal mind. Outside his studies, Lorenz's science writing shines, like in The Origin of Dogs. This book is just one of his many science reads. All right, let's kick off with where dogs came from, then chat about their traits and how to pick one. First up, how dogs originated. We've all heard jackal wolf, right? Actually, jackals and wolves are two different critters. Back in ancient days, when humans hunted, no other animals helped out. Only jackals trailed behind, ready to snatch leftover bones. Come nightfall, they didn't leave. They hung around the edges, always on the lookout for scraps. Compared to wolves, jackals are smaller, and their temper isn't as fierce. They wouldn't attack humans lightly, but when threatened by predators, they'd scream in fear, acting as an alarm for humans. When early humans saw jackals could keep them safe, they started sharing food and slowly welcomed these gentle animals into their tribes. That's how dogs began. Around 10,000 years ago, as humans settled into homes, dogs became family members. Dogs mainly descended from two ancestors, both canines, wolves and jackals. The author calls jackal-descended dogs jackal dogs, and wolf-descended ones wolf dogs. Jackals eat carrion, sometimes even fruit, with relatively mild temperaments that made them easier to domesticate. Wolves only eat freshly killed prey, raise pups collectively, and hunt in organized packs led by an alpha. This creates absolute loyalty to the alpha, but also fiercer dispositions, leading to later domestication compared to jackals. Honestly, the wolf dog, jackal dog labels are just simplified categories for identification. As humans expanded northward, jackal dogs interbred with northern wolves, thoroughly mixing bloodlines. Modern dogs can hardly be neatly separated. So-called wolf dogs and jackal dogs are relative terms. Wolf dogs show more wolf-like behaviors, jackal dogs more jackal-like traits. Famous wolf dogs include German shepherds and chow chows. Typical jackal dogs include poodles and chihuahuas. These habit differences mean distinct behavioral traits across breeds. Some dogs suit human companionship, others don't. Unsuitable breeds were gradually eliminated through evolution. Today's surviving breeds all have survival advantages or fulfill human needs. See, some hunt, some herd, some pull sleds, others specialize as pets, but all share one core trait. The author reveals these key traits through storytelling. Overall, they boil down to four: loyalty, intelligence, playfulness, and kindness. Let's explore them one by one. First, the most crucial trait: loyalty. Canine loyalty springs from dependence on owners. This dependence manifests in two ways. First, a wild pup-mother complex. Only pups bonded to mothers survived well. When dogs transfer this mother bond to owners, owner dependence emerges. Essentially, dogs attach to owners like they would to mothers. Dogs all exhibit typical neotenic traits, meaning they maintain juvenile, physical, and psychological characteristics. This actually helps strengthen their mother complex. Jackal dogs show more pronounced neoteny than wolf dogs, making them especially cute and affectionate. Dependent. The second type stems from loyalty to the pack leader and camaraderie among group members. Wolf dogs particularly excel in this regard. Since wolves show absolute loyalty to their alpha, wolf dogs transfer this devotion to their owners. Wolf dogs obey owners just like they would a pack leader. That's why female wolf dogs are easier to tame than males. Females show stronger loyalty to leaders, otherwise, they couldn't raise offspring successfully. Male wolf dogs, however, get overwhelmed by testosterone and may even run away in extreme cases. So, between females and males, the author recommends choosing females. Plus, females are more emotionally sensitive and intellectually advanced. From an owner's view, both mother complex loyalty and leader respect loyalty have pros and cons. Jackal dogs' stronger neoteny makes them playful and cute like eternal puppies. But sometimes they're overly naive, thrilled to see you one second, then leaping into someone else's arms the next. They shower indiscriminate affection on everyone. Such dogs are like naive young girls, easily lured away by bad people. On the flip side, overly independent dogs aren't ideal either. Take some wolf dogs, they can be too self-centered, even ignoring owners, lacking proper obedience. They might bolt unexpectedly, easily becoming strays. These dogs can be dangerous since they don't see biting humans as special. To them, it's no different from biting other animals. To prevent arrogance in wolf dogs and nurture proper loyalty, it's best to adopt them before 5 months old. That's when they naturally view owners as leaders. Sadly, this critical window is easy to miss. Once missed, wolf dogs become fiercely independent, even acting as alphas themselves, making loyalty training nearly impossible. Even if you manage to build a bond, it won't stop them from eventually leaving. So the author suggests a fix. Take them to unfamiliar places often to reestablish your authority. Only in strange settings do arrogant dogs lose confidence and look to owners for guidance. Following owners through unknown terrain feels exactly like wolves following their alpha. This method helps owners regain authority while dogs develop loyalty. The ideal loyal dog strikes a balance, not too independent nor clingy, but obedient and discriminating toward its owner. To understand owners, they must be smart enough. Admittedly, domesticated dogs regress in some areas compared to wild ones, like duller senses or slower reactions. They might have closed one door, but opened another window. The clearest change? A leap in intelligence, even a giant one. Generally, the more domesticated the dog, the better they adapt to home life. When they mess up, they'll even show humble, apologetic expressions. When they do right, they strut proudly, wagging tails, panting happily to show off. Making these expressions requires understanding context, knowing right from wrong, and properly begging forgiveness. Dogs also read owners' emotions, creating behavioral and emotional exchanges. For example, the author had a German Shepherd, a classic wolf dog that sensed his health, worrying when he caught a cold. It showed concern during low moods. Even his drunkenness triggered strong unease. They can even boost expressiveness through learning, like resting their head on your knee to show affection. This isn't instinct but learned behavior. Many dogs are deeply humanized. Some even understand human language. The author notes when he says, "I'm going for a walk." His two dogs immediately stand, ready to join. Even if the author showed no signs of leaving, just hearing those words made both dogs react identically. My family used to have a dog too. Every time I said, "Quick bath time," it would hide in fear because it hated baths. Some claim dogs don't truly understand human language. They just pick up on tone. But the author disagrees, citing a study proving dogs understand human speech accurately. The study involved 3 dogs named Harris, Eris, and Paris. Those names, right? When owners gave commands like, "Harris, go to bed," the named dog obeyed immediately, whether seeing the owner or not. The other 2 stayed put, proving they understood specific words, not just tone or gestures. As the author puts it, dogs don't speak, but they understand everything. Sometimes they're too smart for their own good. That's when they pull funny stunts, like trying to trick owners, which is part of their charm. Deceiving people isn't easy, especially for dogs, because owners are usually smarter than their dogs, but their attempts add innocent playfulness to interactions. Their tricks are easily spotted, or what kind of owners would we be? Sometimes, when owners return home, if a dog mistakes them for strangers and barks, it gets deeply embarrassed upon realizing. Ugh. Experienced dogs then try covering up with little tricks to save face. After recognizing the owner, it feels mortified for seconds, recovers, then dashes outside barking at the neighbor's door, pretending it meant to bark there all along, not at the owner, easing its guilt through this act. With more mistakes, they grow thicker skinned, eventually lying without flinching. After messing up, they'll bark at random targets, half heartedly trying to brush it off. Sometimes dogs mask anger with tricks. The author shares how he strictly forbade his dogs from chasing poultry, even when chickens stole their food. Dogs couldn't retaliate, but their fury showed. They'd charge into flocks, scattering chickens wildly, yet they'd never actually chase any, pretending to bark at imaginary threats to vent while technically obeying. Then they'd return guilt-free, wagging innocently. Another trick. Dogs wanting to skip walks would fake limping with pitiful looks, making owners feel guilty enough to relent. But once reaching fun spots, they'd forget the act, dashing around recklessly. After the excitement, they'd resume limping to maintain consistency. Luckily, such deceptions are harmless, sometimes even meant to please owners. Overall, dogs are genuinely kind creatures. All right, let's dive deep into canine kindness now. Animals act on instinct, prioritizing self-interest, making it hard to resist urges. Like a dog seeing roast meat can't stop itself, it defies instinct. Humans share these impulses, but as social beings, consciously evaluate them rather than blindly obeying. This conscious rationality manifests as kindness. The author illustrates this tension between reason and kindness through personal experience. For research, the author once kept 6 baby pythons. Pythons ate field mice, killing those cute, round-headed, big-eyed creatures with their clumsy baby movements tormented the author, yet was necessary, causing near-nervous breakdowns. Though reason overcame emotion and he fed mice to pythons, as planned, he suffered weeks of nightmares about their cruel deaths, nearly breaking him. Dogs show similar emotional responses. The author recorded many stories showcasing canine kindness. One particularly interesting tale stands out. Working at a German research institute, gray-lag geese and dogs shared a yard. The geese often bullied the dogs. Trained by the author, dogs always yielded, avoiding confrontation. One male goose learned this, deliberately blocking paths. Whenever dogs passed, it pecked their tails. Dogs could only tuck tails and scurry past, choosing retreat over fight. A gentle-natured Stasi, a dog named Booby, eventually snapped. That bullying male goose pecked Booby's tail too hard one day. Instinctively defending itself, Booby bit back, fatally crushing the goose's skull. The author watched Booby's reaction. Knowing it's wrong, it hid alone in the attic. In the laundry room's dark corner, utterly broken, it sighed deeply. Alas, teardrops welled in its eyes, clearly tortured by conscience. The author believed Booby's guilt mirrored his own after killing mice. Though understandable, their consciences bore deep remorse. So the author didn't punish Booby, he just enjoyed a tasty goose dinner and moved on. Mm. Honestly, about that male goose, gotta say it was totally asking for trouble, right? And, well, its dog's standout traits, loyalty, smarts, goofiness, and kindness, that give them such vivid personalities and make them perfect human pals. A dog's companionship is nature's kindest gift, letting us both give and receive love, satisfying our deepest needs. Just having one creature waiting when you get home eases loneliness. Research proves dog companionship is magic for nerves, clearing mental clutter while easing physical pain. So the big question, what kind of dog should keep you company? Choosing a dog is like choosing a friend. Aim for complementary personalities. If you're independent, avoid equally independent dogs, especially wolf dogs, or you'll miss real connection. If you're emotionally fragile and want emotional support, skip chow chows. They're aloof and proud, not exactly cuddly. A warm hearted Labrador? Now that's a solid pick. And if you're prone to gloom, avoid setters. They're hunting dogs. They might look sweet and sharp, but could be just as melancholy as you. Picture owner and dog weeping silently together. That'll only deepen the sadness. What you need is a goofy, lively dog like a husky. They'll stick by you carefree, cracking you up with their silly faces. When you're happy, their tails wag like crazy, showing they're even happier than you. It's almost like marriage. Long-term cohabitation makes owners and dogs mirror each other. That's companionship in action. The author noticed neat owners raise neat dogs. On walks, they'll stick carefully to garden paths, avoiding puddles. But if the owner's messy, their dog might be even messier. They'll stroll through filthy spots without care, even rolling around, utterly uninhibited. Truly like owner, like dog. It's through this mutual influence that dogs bond deeply with owners, becoming true companions. Beyond owners, dogs also accompany children, showing special affection, even nurturing care. Choosing the right dog for a child helps foster healthy character development. Sensitive dogs tend to be extra gentle with kids, seeming to know their importance. Owners needn't fear harm, but overindulgence, even when hit or yelled at, the dog tolerates it, potentially teaching rudeness. Tip dogs that know when to step back. When facing a bratty kid, they'll walk away, making the child feel ignored. That disappointment prompts self reflection, a subtle influence better than scolding. Gradually, the child learns that being a good pal to the dog means treating it well, extending to respecting others. After choosing well, training is essential. No matter how great the dog, without training, it won't be a true companion. Owners need dogs to follow their lead, not the reverse. Otherwise, it's not humans owning dogs, but dogs owning humans. The author doesn't detail specific training methods. He recommends professional guides. Proper training builds good habits, creating an invisible leash of understanding that deepens joy. Otherwise, constant indoor accidents might make you want the dog gone. Thankfully, once a strong bond forms, it's nearly unbreakable. A dog's love for its owner comes with no conditions. When you're in mortal danger, like being attacked by a tiger, your dog will rush to protect you without hesitation, no matter the consequences. Ask yourself this. If roles were reversed and your dog was under attack by a tiger, would you rush in without regard for yourself? No need to hesitate. The answer is usually no. In other words, your dog loves you more than you love it. That wraps up our discussion of the origin of dogs. Reading notes are below the audio. See you tomorrow.